Hi guys! Today I'm going to be doing the C.S. Lewis book tag. I saw this tag on Book Nerd Katie's channel, so I'm going to leave her original video linked down below. Nobody tagged me in it, but with this month being my C.S. Lewis readathon, I thought I should just start off this month by sharing this video. So question 1 is, what was the first C.S. Lewis book you read? It was obviously for me a Narnia book. No one is surprised, like literally no one. Probably Nephew. I don't think I was reading them in chronological order yet, so I probably just read them by the order on the spines, so I would have read Magician's Nephew first. Alright, question 2 is, how many C.S. Lewis books do you own, if any? So you all know, obviously, I own some. If I counted right, I own 31. Yeah, that's a lot. Here, that is not also counting, there are several that I probably have duplicates of. In fact, I know I have duplicates. I have several duplicate copies of various Narnia books. My husband and I both have a copy of Mere Christianity because I got married, and so my husband also brought some books in. So there are some that we each had, making our library have a bunch of duplicates. Alright, let's see if I can just go back to the Wikipedia article that I was on. Okay, so I have, I'm just going to list off the ones that I know I own from this list. The Personal Heresy, The Problem of Pain, The Abolition of Man, Miracles, Mere Christianity, Surprised by Joy, The Four Loves, A Grief Observed, Letters to Malcolm, The Discarded Image, On Stories, and other essays, God in the Dock, The Weight of Glory, and other addresses, Of Other Worlds. I believe I have that one as well. All my books are packed up, so I didn't actually go through count the books, but I counted on this list of his bibliography. Let's see. Image and Imagination. It's 32. I didn't count that one earlier, so I think it's 32. The Pilgrim's Regress, Out of the Silent Planet, Paralandra, and That Hideous Strength, The Screwtape Letters, The Great Divorce, The Chronicles of Narnia, 7 books. Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, Prince Caspian, Voyage of the Dawn Treader, Silver Chair, Horse and His Boy, Magician's Nephew, Last Battle. Till We Have Faces, Boxin', and that is all, I believe. So that's a lot. I probably own more books by Lewis than I do any other author, by far. Tolkien may be approaching that now, because he also has a wide compendium of works that I own. But yeah, I think I still have more Lewis than Tolkien. Oh, and his collected letters. I don't think that was on the list. So, yeah. I counted it earlier, though. So also I have his collection of his letters. Alright, so, moving on. Question 3 is, which Narnia book is your favorite and why? My favorite is definitely Silver Chair. I love the adventure. I love Jill and Eustace's friendship. I love them separately as characters. I love Puddleglum as a character. I love Rillian. I love the mystery in that one. Yeah, I really, excuse me. I love just everything about Silver Chair. It's just all so wonderful. Question 4 is, who is your favorite character in his fiction? And that's easy. It's Lucy. Lucy is my all-time favorite character of all, favorite fictional character of all time. I love her. I love her faith. I love her journey. I love that she starts out as this just sweet little girl who clearly never tells lies, because her entire, based on the trilemma. I love how she just is so pure of heart, and I love her later appearances as well in Prince Caspian, how she's the only one that sees Aslan from the beginning, and I love her in Voyage. I love her in Horse and His Boy, for that matter, and her wonder. I think that's the thing that strikes me the most about Lucy is, at the end of last battle, spoilers, I guess, for the last battle, but at the end of the last battle, when they go to Aslan's country, and, see, I don't have the book, so it's, packed away, as all of my life is right now, so I'm not quite sure exactly the wording, but, she speaks for the first time, and Tyrion says that he can tell she's just been drinking in their surroundings, and he wants to hear her speak more. And it's just, I love her. Another one, just for a non-Narnia one, I love Orwell as well. I don't really know how to say her name. That's as best as I can get from Till We Have Faces. I love her arc. It's just so wonderful. Yeah, so I like her too. And then I like Ransom from a Space Trilogy. And no one is likable in The Great Divorce. Except for the narrator, potentially, and George MacDonald. So my favorite character in Great Divorce is probably, honestly, George MacDonald. Or the Ghost with the Lizard, maybe. Just because he, actually listens to the bright beings. But anyway. Alright, the next question is... Let's see. Next question is, what is one of your favorite quotes by C.S. Lewis? I don't know if I can share just one, but this is my favorite quote from Narnia, and this is my favorite quote of all time, but I think I want to pull in some nonfiction quotes as well. But this is my favorite quote of all time. It's from my favorite book, The Silver Chair. From Puddleclum. "One word, ma'am," he said, coming back from the fire, limping because of the pain. "One word. All you've been saying is quite right, I shouldn't wonder. I'm a chap who always liked to know the worst, and then put the best face I can on it. So I won't deny any of what you said, but there's one more thing to be said even so. Suppose we have only dreamed or made up all those things, trees and grass and sun and moon and stars and Aslan himself. Suppose we have. Then all I can say is that in that case the made-up things seem a good deal more important than the real ones. Suppose this black pit of a kingdom of yours is the only world. Well, it strikes me as a pretty poor one. And that's a funny thing when you come to think of it. We're just babies making up a game, if you're right. But 4 babies playing a game can make a play world which licks your real world hollow. That's why I'm going to stand by the play world. I'm on Aslan's side, even if there isn't any Aslan to lead it. I'm going to live as like a Narnian as I can, even if there isn't any Narnia. So thanking you kindly for our supper, if these 2 gentlemen and the young lady are ready, we're leaving your court at once and setting out in the dark to spend our lives looking for Overland. Not that our lives will be very long, I should think, but that's a small loss if the world's as dull a place as you say." Do I need to explain why I love that quote? I love just the faith in it, the knowledge that, no matter what, we need to follow Aslan. Even if we've made him up. This world that we have made up is better than your world. And so we should not live in your world. It's so good. I forgot to pull up to list out any other quotes. I do know I love the, if I find in myself a desire which nothing in this world can satisfy, the most prominent explanation is that I was made for another world. The most probable explanation is that I was made for another world. I love that one. I love the 4 loves line. The friendship is born at that moment when one man says to another, "What, you two? I thought I was the only one." "Someday you'll be old enough to start reading fairy tales again" is a great one. "I believe in Christianity as I believe that the sun has risen, not only because I see it, but because by it I see everything else." "A children's story that can only be enjoyed by children is not a good children's story in the slightest." I love that one as someone who still loves a lot of books that are supposedly for kids. Let's see. I'm looking on Goodreads, but the problem with Goodreads quotes is that, you're never confident that they're right. This one I know is true. "A man can no more diminish God's glory by refusing to worship him than a lunatic can put out the sun by scribbling the word darkness on the walls of his cell." That is such a good quote. Let's see. Oh, I love also, I'm trying to here, this is Mere Christianity. I don't want to read the whole thing, but it's the trilemma. You can't just take Jesus as a good moral teacher. I'm ready to accept Jesus. I think I will read it. I am trying here to prevent anyone saying the really foolish thing that people often say about him. I'm ready to accept Jesus as a great moral teacher, but I don't accept his claim to be God. That is the one thing we must not say. A man who was merely a man and said the sorts of things Jesus said would not be a great moral teacher. He would either be a lunatic on the level of a man who says he is a poached egg, or else he would be the devil of hell. You must make your choice. Either this man was and is the Son of God, or else a madman or something worse. You can shut him up for a fool, you can spit at him and kill him as a demon, or you can fall at his feet and call him Lord and God. But let us not come with any patronizing nonsense about his being a great human teacher. He has not left that open to us. He did not intend to. Oh, and then there's one more, and I don't see it, but I will just describe it. It's the one in Mere Christianity about how, you know what, I know where my copy of Mere Christianity, or not mine, my husband's, I know where that copy is. I'll be right back. I'm gonna go grab it. I found it. Okay. Enemy occupied territory. That is what this world is. Christianity is the story of how the rightful king has landed, you might say landed in disguise, and is calling us all to take part in a great campaign of sabotage. When you go to church, you are really listening in to the secret wireless from our friends. That is why the enemy is so anxious to prevent us from going. Yeah, that's a really fun quote too. Just a fun, like, way of thinking about the world. Like, yeah, you're right, you know, sort of is. There's so many more great quotes from C.S. Lewis. In fact, I have from BibleGateway.com, I think it's .com. I actually get a quote a day from C.S. Lewis every day. And so if you're interested in looking that up, might be fun. Not all of them are my favorites, but yeah, it gives you some great quotes. Also, there's also some funny lines that I didn't quote. Like, I love his sense of humor as well. One that comes to mind is the Cor and Erebus one at the end. They went on quarreling and making up that they got married so as to go on doing it more conveniently. I love that line. Yeah, there's lots of funny lines as well. But those are some of my favorite C.S. Lewis quotes. And then question 6, is there anything about his works, fiction or nonfiction, that you don't fully agree with? And yeah, I mean, there's not going to be very many people that you're going to fully 100% agree with everything on. For fiction works, I mean, I think most of us who've read Narnia is the one that we've obviously mostly read. Narnia has the problem of Emeth in the last battle. For those of you who are not maybe aware, Emeth gets into Aslan's country by he has worshipped Tash, the god of the Calormans, his whole life. But then when he gets to Aslan's country and he meets Aslan, Aslan tells him that he says, nothing good can be done in the name of Tash, and nothing evil can be done in my name. So that if someone does evil and says they're doing it in the name of Aslan, that it was really in service of Tash the whole time. And then the same thing if you do something good in the name of Tash. And then, so basically he is saying that Emeth got to the real Narnia to Aslan's country, the real Narnia, without even knowing that he was, by serving Aslan accidentally. And I don't think, that's possible. I mean, Acts says, and there is salvation in no one else, for there is no other name under heaven that has been given among men by which we must be saved. Obviously, the exact form of the name of Jesus is not necessary, but I still think you need to, I don't know if after Jesus has come, if you can be saved without knowing the name of Jesus. Or, that idea of you've been serving a foreign god, but you really were serving me that's just a very icky thing to me, and I don't like that. As far as nonfiction goes, there are definitely some passages where he talks about evolution, and there are many different doctrines that come into question because of that. Like, Genesis 1 through 11 is so foundational for, all but, one doctrine. Everything comes from Genesis 1 through 11, so if you are messed up on your doctrine of anything that is tied to those original 11 chapters of the Bible, you'll be messed up on all of it. The only thing I can think of that is not contained in those original 11 chapters is potentially Israel. Even though Abraham is also mentioned in Genesis 11. So if you wanted to include that, then technically, yeah, I think every major doctrine is. But, yeah. So, the idea of death happening before sin, that comes from a disbelief in which my husband remembered him having. I don't remember that, but I'm sure my husband is correct. He's read Lewis more recently than I have. So, yeah, obviously I would disagree with that very strongly because that's just not biblical. Romans 5:12, therefore as by one man sin entered into the world, and death by sin, and so death spread to all men because all sinned. So, yeah, that's something I definitely disagree with him on. And I would say there are a lot of things where, obviously, Lewis was Anglican, but what with his friendship with J.R.R. Tolkien, his reverence for the medieval, and just his reverence for just history as well, there were a lot of things in which he was more Catholic leaning in his theology. Again, he was never fully Catholic, but there are a lot of things that he kind of leaned toward them on. So, like, one example would be, I'm not sure if he fully believed in transubstantiation, but, like, it kind of gets toward that sometimes. The quote I'm thinking of is from Weight of Glory, where he says, next to the Blessed Sacrament, your neighbor is the most sacred thing you will ever meet, or something. That's definitely not a direct quote, but he calls it the Blessed Sacrament, which to me sounds very Catholic. There are other various Catholic seeming doctrines that he has. Again, maybe not Catholic specifically, but, well, not Catholics, modern day Catholic, but like medieval Catholic, because that was the kind of guy Lewis was, he was a very medieval person. He loved the medievals. So, definitely that. There's a lot probably that I disagree with him on, but I still think he was a brilliant Christian writer and speaker, and I think that the Lord has greatly used his writings to bless the church, and no doubt to draw many people to himself. And so I love C.S. Lewis. I love his books, and I'm really happy, again, I love this tag, love doing this tag, and really happy to be hosting this readathon as well. So yes, let me know in the comments. Let's see, who is your favorite Narnia character? Answer that one. Or no, that was not the question. Who is your favorite character in his fiction? Or favorite Narnia book, or both. You can answer both. Please like and subscribe, and I will see y'all next time. Bye.